What's going on, y'all? Another random topic video. This one I want to talk about, police situations. I just want to give y'all my experiences dealing with police. We all know the issues that's going on with police in this country throughout history. If you want to get a little background information, police departments started around the time that they freed the slaves. Matter of fact, let's check right now. Let me check. When did the police start? When did the police? Yeah. In America. Bear with me, y'all. Just bear with me a little bit, people. But from what I know, from when the police started, and in America specifically, the start of the police department and slavery pretty much go hand in hand, or the end of slavery. And from what I know, from what I heard, I should say, the first police officers were pretty much slave catchers. When the slaves used to run away, they had to hire a team to catch them. And eventually, once the whole Emancipation Proclamation, that's when all of a sudden we need a police department. So I'm just checking right quick to see if I could find a little information. This one says, this is like a Time magazine article. It says the first publicly funded organized police force started in around 1838 in Boston. And basically they was hired to protect property. That's what it's saying right here. Here we go. It says in the South, however, the economics that drove the creation of police forces were centered not on the protection of shipping interests, but on the preservation of the slavery system. Some of the primary policing institutions there were the slave patrols, tasked with chasing down runaways and preventing slave revolts. Potter says the first formal slave patrol had been created in the Carolina colonies in 1704. During the Civil War, the military became the primary form of law enforcement in the South. But during Reconstruction, many local sheriffs functioned in a way analogous to the earlier slave patrols, enforcing segregation and the disenfranchisement of free slaves. So there you have it. And looking at what's going on today, we can see that it's just a continuation of what was going on back then. But I'm going to give y'all my experiences just to give you a little. There's always nuance to every situation. We can't generalize and say, oh, every police officer is a white supremacist, or every police officer hates black people, or wants to shoot black people, or is afraid of black people. Because that's not true. I've had different experiences in my life that has taught me, different. And first and foremost, let's start off by saying I have been profiled before. I can remember a time I just came from school. I used to commute back and forth from Kingston, Rhode Island to Providence. When I went to URI, and one day I decided, when I got downtown, the bus I wanted to take that went directly to my street, I would have had to wait like an hour or something like that, and I'm just like, hell no. So what I would do is I would take a bus that would just be in my general area and just walk from wherever it dropped me off at. So I took the bus that took me pretty much right to Providence College, because I live right in the area. So I got out and I walked from there. And as I'm walking through the streets, there's a black police officer too, by the way. This black police, he sees me walking through this pretty nice neighborhood, and immediately he pulls up on me and was like, "Hey, you live around here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I live right in the area." Like, "Yeah, what's your address?" I'm just like, "What the fuck you asking me all these damn questions for?" Like, and I kind of paused and froze. Well, not froze, but I hesitated for a second, and he was just like, "Yeah, look, man, it's not a big deal. Just give me your address." And, I told him my address, and I think he punched it in or something like that to make sure it was actually in the area. And he was like, "All right," and then, then he like drives away. And most y'all probably sitting there saying, "Well, that's not that big of a deal." And it's not some of the stories that you heard about people being, slammed on the top of the police car, or having to sit on the floor, or being frisked, or anything like that. But I still had to sit there and think, like, if I wasn't black, would he have just asked me that? I don't think so. If I'm just a young white guy walking through this neighborhood, no matter how poor I looked, he's not gonna sit there and ask me, "Oh, where you live at," and the exact address. Like, so I just think he was kind of profiling. He might have thought I was casing the neighborhood, walking around, looking at different houses of which one to break into or some shit like that. And I just thought it was corny for me, especially being a black guy. Like, come on now, what kind of shit is that? But anyway, he went about his business, and I walk home. And there's been situations where I've been pulled over. I remember one time my boy Jake, he went out and bought a Lexus, and I know he was getting pulled over in that thing all the time. And it was just one time the cops pulled us over, and I want to say like 2-3 of them hopped out, and they checked his stuff and all that. They checked his information, everything was on point, and it's like, nice car, you know what I'm saying, like on some corny shit. And another one of my boys, he just wanted to, this nigga Jeremy, he just wants to run his mouth like, "Yeah, what you pull us over for?" All this dumb shit. And I'm just like, "Yo, chill out, man." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I know what goes on. Like, they could take us, they could just be assholes and take us in. And like, for me, it ain't worth it. Like, just to argue with these motherfuckers. Like, that's just dumb to me. But in the hood, it pretty much teaches you, "Yo, why you violating my rights?" Like, the way you do. To me, that's just on some, that shit is corny. Like, let the nigga run your shit. Go ahead. And I ain't saying that you shouldn't stand up for your rights, but I'm saying you got to know which battles to fight. That's what I'm saying. So, they was on their way walking away, and I'm like, why wait until they walk away for you to start running your mouth? Like, that's just corny to me. But anyway, matter of fact, it was another time, and so I'm funny, crazily enough, I'm selling weed at this point, and I got my, I had braids at the time, but this time I had like just taken them out, so it's wild and crazy looking. Everybody I seen was like, "Yo, you look like you just got out of jail, nigga." And so luckily I had just sold like my last 2 bags. And I kept it. I had this fucking, it was like a WD-40 can, and you could pull out the bottom of it. And I used to just stick my weed in there and keep it in the back of my trunk, like where the spare tire was. And as I'm driving home, I get pulled over by like an unmarked car, and I'm looking back, and this ain't no fucking squad car. It's just like a black whatever. It was like some DTs, and when I'm telling you, like 3 of these motherfuckers hopped out, and one went to the driver's window, one went to the front passenger window, and one went to the back passenger window, and I'm just like, what the fuck, like, these motherfuckers like, hey, so what's going on, like, and they said the same shit. You like, you just got out of prison? I'm like, hell no, nigga, like, I'm in school, bro, like, what you talking about? And you know, I had like a little rip on my seat, and they're looking at that like, oh, what's this over here? like they 100% thought they had me dead to rights. Like, they're like, yeah, we gonna get something on this motherfucker. And you know, I was like, hey man, that's just a little rip in the seat, man. I bought it like that, and that shit was just crazy. They went. I checked that. My license was good. My sticker was good. My insurance was good. Everything was just 100% on point. So they had no choice but to let me go. You know, but you know, these niggas thought they had me for a second, and I was like, all right, man, all right, cool, you know, no problem. Go ahead about your business. You know. Then there's been the times where I've been pulled over, you know, and I was in the wrong. Like, one day I was driving with no insurance one day, and the cops pulls me over, and he goes, "You got your insurance?" And I just kept it real. I was like, honestly, nah, man. Like, I ain't got no insurance. I ain't got, you know. But I was getting my car fixed. I'm just leaving the mechanic and going back home. You know, I know I'm not supposed to be driving, but you know, it's just, you know, I'm just leaving the. It's not like I'm driving around, you know, just not caring. And he actually let me go in that situation. You know, I think he was just disarmed by my honesty. Because most people try to just talk their way out of most situations. Instead, even when they caught red-handed, they still want to try to lie. And that's really what pisses the cops off. It's like, come on, man. Like, you caught red-handed, and you still gonna try to just bullshit. You know, everyone wants to act like they're smarter than the cops, and you know, I think that's what really makes them want to stick it to you. You know, because he told me straight up. He was like, yo, look, in Rhode Island, you get caught driving without insurance, that's a immediate court date. So I'm gonna let you go this time, but make sure, you know, you don't drive this car unless you got insurance on it. And actually, no, what am I saying? Yeah, actually, what am I saying? Oh, and anyway, another time I had like crashed my car. Like I completely totaled my car, and my dumb ass, I could have just called like a tow truck to come. You know, I was fine physically and all that. I just had a little scratch on my hand. And I'm sitting outside by my car, and some dude drives by and goes, "Hey, you all right? You need somebody to call the ambulance?" I was like, "Oh no, I'm all set. I called him already." And I kind of was in like a panic mode. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I had crashed my car, and instead of just being smart, staying cool, and calling a tow truck to come tow the truck, tow it out of there, I called 911 like an idiot. And the emergency showed up, the cops showed up, and they had me right there for drunk driving. That should have been another court date. And the cop, you know, as I'm in the ambulance is taking me away for a freaking scratch on my hand, which is fucking stupid. The cop comes in there, you know, is like, you know, just I want to talk to him real quick before y'all leave. Like, well, what happened tonight? And me, I'm like, I'm drunk. And I think he's disarmed by my honesty, and he's like, he doesn't know what he's saying right now. And he just kind of, he's like, yeah, I'm not even gonna write this up. And he kind of walks away, and even the ambulance was like, yeah, you know, you caught a lucky break tonight. And, you know, again, like most people try to lie and get out the situation. Me, I know I'm caught red-handed. I'm like, you know, they could easily just check my blood or check whatever. So it's like, what the hell's the point of lying? So I was like, okay, officer, you got me. And again, I got off. You know, I did end up getting a court date, but not because of a DUI. It was because I was driving with no insurance. And, you know, state kept sending me letters asking, okay, where's your insurance? You know, you got into a crash. We need your insurance. So I ended up getting a court date for that. You know, but eventually I went and got insurance and just went to court. And, you know, I had to get like some SR22 insurance, but I got off. And also I had some dealings with the cops working at the group homes. Because, you know, sometimes the kids will be wilding out. We have to call the damaging property, trying to fight each other, trying to do all type of bullshit. And we would have to call the cops on them. And the cops was always cool, man. Like, they understood what we was going through. And a lot of times they would talk to the kids, and let us know, like, hey, you know, I know what you guys is going through. You know, we didn't have to come up here a bunch of different times to deal with these guys. And so honestly, I feel like people are just people, man. It's really nuanced. So depending on who you actually deal with, you got to just treat them based on how they treat you. That's how I look at it. But I think a lot of people, especially in the media, they make these like sweeping generalizations about cops and all that. But everybody knows a cop. You know a cop somewhere. Somebody in your family is a cop. Somebody you went to school with. Somebody. I mean, my boy's brother just graduated from the academy. You know, cops are just people just like us, and we got to treat people based on how they treat us. You know, we can't just be making these sweeping generalizations. Same way we don't want them making sweeping generalizations about us. So these are just I'm just giving y'all my experiences so y'all could get an idea of how it's like a duality in it. You know, it's nuanced to every situation. You know, you can't judge every situation the same based on, you know, a couple assholes. Same way for black people. You know, you can't, a lot of people always want to act like every black person is a criminal. Or every black person who lives in the hood is a criminal. Like, you know, you can't do that. You gotta treat people based on the way they treat you. You know, like treat people based on their actions, not their skin color. You know, I mean, 2017, we should know that by now. What the fuck is going on, people? But anyway, it's just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Like it or love it. Holla at your boy. Peace.